Halloween is a fun night filled with costumes, candy, and scares, but there are also many potential safety concerns. Here to shed some light and to help you navigate with the spooky holiday without fear, that is attorney Meesha Moulton. Hey, Meesha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. So obviously we're all excited for Halloween, the trick-or-treating aspect, but at the same time there are some responsibilities that we might have. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as a homeowner, you have a responsibility to ensure that your property is safe. Of course, there's going to be kids and teenagers, adults that are accompanying their kids, and there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of traffic that's going to be moving through your property. You want to make sure that you have repaired anything that's open and obvious, anything that looks dangerous, something that could potentially hurt someone. You want to make sure that you check around your premise and that you've done your due diligence.
This is really interesting because I don't think, a lot of people think about those things. And, I'd be curious to learn just what might some of those cases be in terms of, if somebody leaves something and somebody gets hurt. So what happens there?
Yeah, so an example is, let's say there's a repair that's needed to some stairs and somebody slips and falls. So in that case, depending on their injury, they're obviously going to have medical bills, and then they'll usually end up having to pursue a claim against your homeowner's insurance. So we want to make sure that everybody stays safe and healthy, and a lot of these situations can be avoided just by simply checking the premise and just getting it repaired. And if for some reason your property isn't safe, then you may not want to open it up to trick-or-treaters.
That makes sense. And then, of course, obviously the favorite part for everyone when it comes to trick-or-treating is the candy.
Yes.
But we do know that there are some people who might make their own treats too. So are there sort of safety concerns with that as well?
I would highly recommend not making any of your own treats. Definitely just buy packaged treats from the store. It's the safest method. You don't know what kind of allergies someone might have. There's just a lot of liability with making your own treats. So a lot of schools these days don't even want you sending treats with your kids, so I wouldn't recommend passing them out to trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, and there has also, as we're talking about things to be aware of, things to look out for, we do know that obviously trick-or-treating, a lot of it is walking, right, throughout the streets and things like that. What are some concerns there as well that people should just be made aware of when they're doing that? I mean, you're walking, from house to house, but you've got to cross the street, you've got to walk, in certain areas. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I would definitely accompany your young kids. Don't let them go on their own, depending on their age, or let them at least travel with a group. You want to make sure that they stay in well-lit areas and try to make their costume bright and something that's visible, or maybe some kind of light that just allows drivers to notice them and see them. And you want to try to stay out of heavy traffic areas where maybe the speed limit is a little bit higher. Try to stay in residential areas. Generally, most people are pretty aware that there's a lot of foot traffic, so they're driving a little bit more cautiously, but there's always unfortunate situations every year, so you want to try to do everything you can to avoid those.
And it's really helpful, obviously we want to enjoy the holiday and have a great time, but it's important to sort of be aware of these things.
Right.
One of the things I wanted to talk about is if something were to happen, what should someone's next steps always be?
So the next step should always be to contact the police, so an investigation can happen at the scene, and then depending on how you're feeling, if you're feeling hurt, you want to get medical attention right away. So go to an urgent care or hospital depending on your injuries and get checked out, and then at that point contact a lawyer before speaking to any insurance.
All right, wonderful. Well, it's been great insight that you've given. So we're just going to make sure that we also end on a really fun note.
Okay.
What are you most looking forward to with Halloween?
I am looking forward to going trick-or-treating with my daughter. So she has her Wednesday costume picked out.
Oh my goodness, how cute.
She's so excited. I had nothing to do with it. She wanted to be Wednesday all on her own.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to going out with her.
I love that. Yeah. My husband and I were thinking we should be like the couple Gomez and Morticia from Addams Family.
I'd
totally
love that.
Do it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Meesha, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much.
The law offices of Meesha Moulton are on Howard Hughes Parkway. For more information, you can visit MeeshaMoultonLaw.com.